Um, I want to talk to you a little bit about Jesus. It seems like I have taken the stance for many years now that Jesus is not the great exception, but is the great example. And by being such, then it elevates what we're about to not about being saved, but about awakening or realizing our deeper nature, which is the similar or same nature as Jesus. And so when we say, as we do in our statement of faith, there's only one presence and one power, God the good, omnipotent, we could also say there's only one presence and one power in Jesus and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And that is the stance that Unity has taken for over 100 years. So Jesus is really a teacher of unified consciousness. And by unified consciousness, it means when you actually experience our statement of faith, that there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good. That this, if you're going to come into existence down the chain of existence from the divine wholeness down to this peculiar separateness and all the suffering that you could take on as a human being, if you are willing to do that, then you're fulfilling that phrase in the Bible that says, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son to bring into visibility what it looks like to be that aware of your true nature and to love with an open heart without conditions, without separating people into like and don't like, but to have this one thing, to be at one with everything, to know your fullness as the divine, and to be fully in the moment here. To be like Jesus in this, that he could be both divine and human. That is the mystery of the Christ, which has been written and thought about for a couple of thousand years. How can the divine be human at the same time? And it takes a consciousness that is in some way ordered differently than ours are to be able to handle that much flame. We must be renewed. We must have, as Paul would say, the renewal of our mind. We still have unfolding to do, and we know it, or we wouldn't even be here today. We have this understanding that we too, even though we don't use the sin salvation paradigm, we too must have a metanoia, a change of mind. We must see the world differently. I over here, you over there, God away from me in my total humanness, this separate sense of self. So our operating system needs to be upgraded. Essentially, we need to go from being an operating system that needs separation, that needs contrast, that needs the opposite, to know itself. And we move back up this energetic level high enough in consciousness so that we're not here on the basis level where everything is edgy and hard, but we begin to move in our ability to absorb the energy at a higher level because we see all this, including ourselves, as a unity thing, where everything is at one. There is only one presence, one power, and that is God the good, God the unfolding. And it's the same one presence, the same one power that's in sweet baby Jesus as there is in you. So our journey, our spiritual journey, even though the destination is known, even though the destination is essentially always been there, and it's always been true of us, our journey is to unfold that for ourselves. And Jesus then becomes the great example, who is someone who lived a life as a sacrament meaning the sacred is made into this moment. That funneling of all there is into a potent symbol. That symbol being Jesus' life. That Jesus' life then becomes a sacrament which we can partake of by knowing and understanding. That sacrament is a sacrament of inspiration, is a sacrament of vibration that we can attune to, that in essence we can believe in, identify with, agree with, trust, believe in. We can believe in Jesus, and then the wisdom factor will save us. And so our prayers and intentions really are moving out of a simply physical world into another level. And that's why prayer, which is an interesting thing if you think about it, it has many ways of being thought about, but one way is that we are adjusting our thoughts up into a finer level of the dimensions of the multiverse that is here, the heaven all the way down to the earth. And we're adjusting it by, we say the words or think the thoughts that allow us to move up. And that's why we do affirmative prayer here, which is that we say where we want to go rather than where we have been, where we are moving toward. And we hold these affirmations in such a way that we can say, so I remember. There is a higher place. This is not all there is. I remember. And with that, we invite more energy to come into the system here that we live in. Let us take a chance on expanding our consciousness, pulling the divine into us, asking for guidance, affirming the highest thoughts about ourselves and others, and doing our best to have a different operating system, one that doesn't have to make everyone other. Let's work on that. May this year, 2022, be one of the best you've ever had. Let us pray.